Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the big episode 5-0 of the Sigcast, aka the Siblings and Cardboard Podcast. I'm your host, Thomas, joined by my buddies slash co-host, Noah and Justin. Whether you're a veteran card gamer or just the first time testing the waters, we're all siblings in cardboard. Hey guys, I just want to let you know that we had a little bit of audio problems between one of us getting muted and one of us getting noise gated. So I've kind of cut out our last week a little bit, but just to give you a quick recap, some of us went to Armory, had some fun playing some decks. We were excited about the Battle Harden that just finished, and we kept it pretty short because this is going to be a long episode. We're going over a bunch of spoilers. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the rest of the podcast. Sorry for the sound issues. Hopefully we got that on lock and it won't happen again. Thanks. I think we have a pretty short summary of our week, and now we have a short market minute to get to because we have a ton of content to go through.
Yeah, we're not going to spend too much time on the market minute. Reason being is you think a lot of things would have moved. They really haven't. I don't know what it is. I think it's just in a weird place. Maybe people are just really down right now because of Zen. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I would have thought there'd be a little bit more of like jump movements, especially with some of the stuff being spoiled. But we're gonna take it really quick in terms of, I won't go over the explanations of most of the cards. Waning Moon, the cold foil variant, is going up. I think people just want to get wizard weapons. I don't know. I thought it was really interesting, kind of cute. So you wanted a cold foil Waning Moon, they're actually going up because we're doing wizard v wizard stuff. So
I don't think they're going to make a better weapon for kind of like being an aggressive wizard than Waning Moon.
Pretty gnarly weapon. I mean, and it plays to the whole wizard strength of wanting to play on your opponent's turn and stuff. So feels good through and throughout. So Waning Moon's up a little bit. I wouldn't say it's up like a crazy amount, but up 56% in the last month. So at the early August, it was what, $14, $15. It's now doubled to 30. I guess that's a decently significant or a decent uptick in price. And then moving on, somebody bought out all of the Rainbow Foil Balance of Justices, so you might want to wait on your Balance of Justice if you need one. I don't necessarily know why or what the point was, but there are no Balance of Justices.
They hit like a low point in price and someone just said, yeah, I'll buy them all. It's interesting.
No,
it makes me wonder, maybe there is an anticipation for the Japanese market to want to buy them.
Maybe.
Well, I'm like, the only way for the Japanese market to get those is to open new product or like import new product or import from resellers, because there's not like a big presence of those cards in the country already. So it could be maybe someone saw a business opportunity. They're traveling to Japan.
Look, it's wild too. I really had to check the filters, right? Because for the longest time, I thought it was me. Like, I thought I was the reason why I couldn't see any rainbow foils. Like, I was just user error, but there just are no rainbow foils. They don't exist. So you got cold foils, and somebody's probably going to list rainbow foils. But just to give you a heads up on that, Heart is $400 and above now. I keep telling you, could have told you. You guys were foolish to not buy that card when it was low threes. I'm telling you, absolutely foolish. Because Verdance is going to be real. I promise you. I know that because I've now completely sold off on Aurora, and it's going to be Verdance. Because it hit me at the tournament about the whole Verdance thing, and I just think she's actually going to be a force to be reckoned with in terms of life gain and the ability to sort of hold her own and just ping you through the life gain. I think it's going to be an absolutely crazy experience to play against her when that deck is finally in full force. Plus, there's a reason Finals Fighting Spirit is the promo. Okay, I'm gonna we leave breadcrumbs, right? So I'm telling you, it's Finals Fighting Spirit, Verdance, life game shenanigans. Take the game as long as you want. There's plenty of things for that. But plus, I get to lose to Poison the Well too. It's a win-win-win. We'll speed through the rest of these. So Heart of Final, $400. You should have bought it. Toma Aetherwind almost tripled in price. It's now like $6-7 a card. That's pretty relevant. So people are speculating on that. Probably maybe why Balance of Justice. I don't know. Card draw is not going anywhere, guys. Balance is literally key. Balance is probably over Crown. Oh, we're going to be in a crownless meta though. Almost. If you think about it, a lot of arcane damage. More of a reason to cut that crown from your list.
I
could see it. I could see it. Sneak an extra card in there. Somebody's going to run crownless. You'll see. Somebody's going to go real crazy. I'm
it's
putting
like
it out there
Command
now.
and Conquer's not going to be in people's decks anymore.
Not if you're a wizard, and if wizards are prevalent, and like, I don't know. Okay, I'm running Command and Conquer as Verdant.
Kano doesn't run Command and Conquer because if he flips it off the top, he loses the game. If he wasn't flipping random cards off the top of his deck, he'd probably
Is
consider playing it.
Acilio really gonna run Command and Conquer? No. Okay, either way. So Tome of Aetherwind's up. Aetherize. Yes, I said it right this time. Actually continues to go up. It's like $10 a card now. Don't counter spells are real. Kindle's going up as well. Just marking some cards that are going up. So watch your Kindles, watch your Aetherize, your Tomes, Tome of Harvest, things like that. They're on the rise. Codex of Frailty continues to go up. It's almost $75 a card now. Rainbow foils are $80 a card. Just to throw it out there, I think it's absolutely insane. It single-handedly pays for your Outsiders box if you buy one. Pretty dang cool. But that's about it. Also, Dash got spoiled, right? Mechs, not necessarily yet, but there will be a mech resurgence. There will be a mech part 2 Electric Boogaloo where those cards go back up. So your heists, your twin drives, even though twin drives are still relatively high, your heists and stuff, I might pick them up.
Yeah, I don't think twin drive has ever been low.
No, twin drive never been. You want them cold foil Teklo cores. I want to pick those up too.
Those will soon be a Dash.io only card. Dash.IE is not far from Living Legend. She keeps almost winning big events.
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure out what to do with that pistol when I guess we go to Hanabi Blaster. We start playing some real Dash.
It's just interesting because 2 other cards just become completely unplayable. Like they don't have a card to go with them.
But that's what I got. Get your Runeblade stuff, guys. Get ready for it. It's real. It's here. So
last weekend we had Battle Hardened San Diego paired up with the like Age Open events, right? They're running them concurrently. Like they are each other. The ProQuest Plus is the Age Open series. The metagame, as you expect, with the first and second was Zen and New for the Battle Hardened. Zen at 16 players, New at 11. However, third was surprising at Kano.
That's not
tied with Levia. I mean,
a lot of the Kano Council lives out in California. A lot of the Kano Council lives out there. So
yeah, you could tell because there were some Kanos blowing people up, and unsurprisingly, Majin Bay did quite well. He's a good player. The finals was Brody Spurlock versus Majin Bay, Zen versus Kano, and Majin Bay managed to take it down. So congrats to him.
Kanos.
We love it. We love to see it. If you want to see a really cool game, watch the semifinal he had versus Enigma.
Yes.
That's a really, really cool matchup. It's one of my favorite matchups in the game right now. You have to both as the Kano player, you have to balance both the first and second cycle and make sure that they both look great. And he did it beautifully. It was awesome.
Waning Moon, I assume, in that matchup?
Yeah.
And
though he did make a really interesting mistake. He wasted his Metacarpus nodes. Because he tried to do a Blazing Aether for 0. And he activated nodes because he just needed to do 1 more ping of damage to get rid of a ward. And he can't do that. Because Metacarpus node says if it deals arcane damage, it deals that much +1. Blazing for 0 doesn't do arcane damage. Apparently 0 arcane damage is just no arcane damage at all, right? You can't do...
Yeah, it's not a value. I see what you're saying, yeah. He can't bring the 0 to 1 with the Metacarpus. He can only bring the 1 to 2. Yeah.
And that's so obscure. And I'm like, what does that mean? I don't understand it. And I go and read Metacarpus notes. I'm like, oh, reading the card actually explains the card.
Yeah.
In the rare case that something says deal 0 arcane damage, Metacarpus notes cannot modify it to do more. Really interesting.
And yeah, just, I don't know. It was really funny, but it was a really cool game still.
So, and then the ProQuest Plus also ended up with Brody in the finals. He had a great weekend, and he managed to take that down in the end. So, Zen was still pretty dominant. I think he was 3 out of 8, or no, 2 out of 8. He was 2 out of 8 in the Battle Hardened. And I think he was either 3 or 4 out of 8 in the ProQuest Plus.
He was 4.
And so I have an interesting data point, and credits to Nathan Crawford. Despite Zen only being 20 to 30% at the high end for tournament presence, he is currently 44% of the top 8 presence. Huh.
So the reason is, right, is I think, and I don't, I want to make sure I word this right. This is my equivalent of red deck wins. Okay, I've said this multiple times, but it is. This is red deck wins. This deck plays itself out. It's probably as fast as a Magic deck. Maybe not as fast as like turn 2 or turn 3, but this is what it is. This is a little bit beyond that. This would be like if you were playing against red deck wins and you attacked with a creature, and the person playing red deck wins goes, "Ha, got you. I'm going to put a whole bunch of stuff out because you attacked me." Okay, so red deck wins mixed with some other shenanigans, but
some weird white shenanigans.
Yeah, okay, it's aggro. It's really, I know if you've never played Magic, this means absolutely nothing. Just know that this is like the deck that I feel. So it's what I'm getting at. This is a very, I don't want to say like new player for. This is a very like, oh, I do it. It does damage. It combos well. I win. And it's very streamlined, right? Your plan never changes. Yeah. Get these cards, block with this, play hand out, I win. And so it's easy for competitive games, and this is a competitive game. Is my deck competitive? Yes. How fast are my games going to be? Yes. Oh, this is like a win-win. So my games are fast, and I'm going to win. Majority of the time, I'm going to play this deck. What deck is going to get me to the top? I'm going to play this deck. So there are still specialists, because this is why we love the game Flesh and Blood, right? There are still specialists that could beat that. But I think this is
a data point. Despite
I know they're not topping.
Pretty high representation.
Right. It doesn't top as much as you think it would.
No, it tops
way more.
Tops way more. Oh. He only has like a 20-ish percentage representation in the field, and he's converting to top 8 44%.
It still stands.
He's got a 44% presence.
The deck. What does the deck lose to?
Oh, I mean, it has matchups, but
who's doing the bigger dice roll? Who's doing the bigger dice roll?
The math is too strong. You know what? Just ban Art of War, cowards.
No.
LSS, do it. Ban Art of War.
No.
Yes.
You cannot ban a card.
Want Art of War in the game anymore.
That's preposterous.
I'm a Levia player, and I want Art of War to be gone.
Vincent, people
Shadow
need.
Takes a bullet. That's fine.
People need Art of War. There are classes that need Art of War.
No, you don't need Art of War in the current Flesh and Blood.
All right,
there is exactly one wide deck that breaks it. And Zen. Katsu kind of did it, but you saw he never really took off, so it was just a card in his deck. Levia uses it as like this weird toolbox card. You could print another card that does something similar.
You ban Art of War. You ban Art of War, you got to ban everything else then. You might as well, because you just get it.
Win.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just get us out of Old Fab then. Just ban CNC at that point.
No,
and
why would you ban CNC?
Sink Below
That's a good card.
And ban Fate. Just ban them all. Just get us out of that.
I don't agree with that. I think Sink Below and Fate are fine. I think CNC is actually a really well-designed card. Pummel, Tunic Pummel is a little, but Guardian's not terribly successful, so whatever, let him have it.
Any deck can play a Pummel. We're going to find out more about that at the end of the video. But look, Zen, what I'm saying is Zen is really good, wins a lot, really streamlined, fast games. It's attractive in a competitive format.
Is it?
Now Yeah, I know what you're saying. It has less represent. It's still attractive though. I think people are trying to figure out ways around it, and I think it's there, but it's.
You got to talk to the competitive scene more. It's overwhelmingly meh towards Zen's dominance.
Listen, nobody wants to play the deck.
There's not enough decision points for the player against the Zen.
Look, do you see me playing? I understand what we're getting at. Do you see me playing Zen? No. Do I want to sit and play against the Zen? Not really.
Then why don't you want to see him toned down?
Because put it this tone him down. Just don't ban Art of War.
If they're going to try to bring Zen in, if they're not going to do it, they're just going to send him off to LL and really, really make people not want to play while they're waiting for it to LL. That's not healthy for the game. And if they're just going to print a hero to send off to LL, why did they make the hero to begin with?
Well, that if we have extra time, we can talk about how I think LSS makes sets too relevant now. Too relevant. I think they missed in Dust Till Dawn, and I think they got way too good.
Oh, poor LSS. They can't.
I'm sorry, and I don't mean it. I don't mean it in a rough way.
New is really powerful. New is extremely powerful. Enigma is extremely powerful, but they're well designed and have weaknesses. This man who can push 7 block out of his armor.
Well, he should have never had the armor he had. He should have never had the ban Traverse for him. Ban his chess piece. Just don't ban Art of War.
Hero targeted bans are an interesting approach, but it's not going to happen. They didn't even do it in Living Legend, so they're not going to do it in CC.
Maybe none of it's gonna matter because there'll be a new hero to complain about in Rosetta.
We feel over Justin. What do you think?
Something's gonna get hit by Zen. I think you can listen to Gottlieb on some other podcasts, and that's coming. That's pretty straightforward. That's gonna happen. I personally would like levels plus a specific Zen card. I think all the MST heroes are a little overtuned, and levels is kind of offensive in terms of just like their power level. But I don't know, it's where we're at right now. Like it's a stale format. The Zen's a problem. We got to fix it somewhere. It's coming. I don't know what it is, and I'm just gonna wait and see. Like if it's Art of War, sure, like whatever. It's Art of War. I don't personally like that, but whatever. Like I don't design the game. They did the testing for it, and if they think Art of War is the right answer, it's the right answer.
They've had to fix every time they've had an effect that affects all the attacks for the turn. They've eventually had to take one of those out of the game every time they've tried to make a go wide deck. Instead of making the go wide deck be balanced from the get-go, they make it's too strong. They steal an Anthem effect from it, and then it's unplayable. Like 5.
Yeah, force multipliers have always been an issue and will always be an issue, especially with Ninja and Shadow Runeblade, where you have access to being able to use the force multiplier multiple times. But I don't know, like don't print Ancestral Harmony if you have Art of War in the game.
Yeah, I mean they should have never made both those. I guess.
What are we doing here? You know, like
Ancestral Harmony, Art of War, and then if you're playing in Living Legend, Stubby Hammers. Dude, Zen Living Legend is even more bonkers. The only thing that saves that format is that whole format's just nuts.
Yeah, and you have hypo and other hate pieces, but I don't know. It's a stale thing. It is what it is. I'm excited to talk about Rosetta because that set looks fun, and I really, really like that set.
Let's talk about Rosetta then.
We can talk about Rosetta. I like Rosetta.
Yeah, we can talk about some Rosetta.
Okay. So let's talk about the first 2 cards we got over the weekend. One of them was really good, and the other one I feel like is niche, but probably not so great. The first one is Fruits of the Forest. I guess it's crazy. Yeah. I guess it's going to come in a color series. It starts out at 3 for 5, block 2, blue. So 3 for 5 blue. Already, that's great rate for blue.
Yeah.
Its only text is instant. Discard this, gain 2 life. Wow.
Good card. Capital G, good card.
So modular. You draw it on the turn 0, discard it. Start 2 life up. You have too much of a hand, you can't use the card, discard it. You gain 2 life.
Yeah, so one of my huge worries with Verdance right now is hand scaling, which is just the concept of like, how do you use 4 cards every single hand effectively, right? Where with a Ninja, it's just, you just poop them all out. With Icelander, for example, you would throw a Wounded Bull arsenal the card, and then on the next turn, flick it out and pitch a blue, right? So there's the fourth card, right? Things like that. Guardians, pitching 2 cards is Anothos, 1 card is Hammer, 3 cards is Spinal Crush, 4 cards is Dominated Spinal Crush, that kind of thing. And I'm really worried about Verdance's hand scaling because I don't see a lot of ways for her to go wide or have like buffs. And this is phenomenal hand scaling because it's still just 3 for like offensively, it's 3, but it could also be a 3 for 7, and it's an Earth card. Wonderful. Good job.
Yeah,
I mean, it's everything.
Too. Yeah, if you think about that, this this goes ahead and puts a graveyard card in your graveyard and an Earth card specifically for decompose effects too.
Yes,
it's so good.
Just
and then in red, is this like up there with Battlefront Bastion is one of the best possible poppers if you're actually playing Earth, because you have it. It's 7. It's a good popper versus Prism, and then if you don't use it, you just discard it and gain 2 life.
I mean, it feels pretty good in all situations like that as a popper.
You're not over the moon to play it whenever it's like you're having to use the instant effect before Verdance is online. But once Verdance is online, like, please just put as many of these in my hand. Like, this is fine.
Yep, gain 2 life, stab your opponent for 1.
And do you know such good math that plays into too? Like pitching that down to second cycle, pitching those. I mean, dare I say you run 9 of these? Do you know what I mean? Like pitching those yellows.
Oh, no. If we have to run the yellows, we're in trouble.
Yeah. Come on.
In trouble. But we definitely run the blues, and we probably run the reds. They may be a sideboard card.
No one likes running 3 for 6 yellows. Like, that's draft chaff.
We're not talking about. I guess there's better life gain cards. I guess there's better cards overall. But what I was saying is pitching that blue down to second cycle, though, that just messes the math. I mean, you got sigils floating in there. You've got those floating in there. It changes the life gain, the blocks. It changes the dynamic of the game, the math of the game.
Yep, good card.
So the next card we got was Trip the Light Fantastic. It's a 1 for 5 in red, so that means he'll probably scale down to 4 in yellow, 3 in blue, 2 block. Instant, discard this, prevent the next 2 damage that would be dealt to you this turn.
Draft chaff, but that's fine.
I think there could be other ways this gets used, but it's mainly draft chaff. I don't think Aurora will have room to put it into her deck to like counter wizards.
No, the lightning form is for constructed is just a strict upgrade on this card. But for limited, this card is crazy.
Yeah, because it'll block 1 twice.
Yeah, and there's already going to be these crazy end games where both heroes are trying to ping each other, where you have to go for like, do I risk throwing this shock out at my opponent? Like, I can kill them on their turn. They tapped out, or they only have 1 card left, and they, in theory, don't have a way to stop Arcane. And they just discard this as an instant, and you get totally bamboozled. Like, there's some really, really fun end games that are going to show up in Rosetta Limited.
All right, now we could get to some of the. That first card I think was pretty strong, but let's start like kind of cherry picking a little bit. Some of the broken stuff. Malefic Incantation is just a straight upgrade of a previous Runeblade card. Like in most ways, right? You might run both. So what's the other incantation called? The one that you have to pay
Runeblood Incantation?
Yeah, Runeblood Incantation. You pay 1 to get a rune chant at the beginning of each turn. This you pay 0 and you get a rune chant the first time you attack.
So I've been making the joke all day that they released Vinset's non-attack actions this set because they did. Yeah.
This is so good.
Yeah, Malefic and Runeblade Incantations both have their purposes. With the original one, you really need rune chance up front to play the 2-cost rune gate, right? So you banish the card, you have Runeblade Incantation, boom, you play the thing. This enables triple gate turns very easily, like insanely easily.
Yeah,
now. It's almost trivial.
Because you could throw a rune gate, it makes a rune chant. You could throw Eloquent Eulogy.
Yeah, and then boom, you're just there.
Wild. You're just way overrated at that point. And then like you could throw a rune gate for 3, make a rune chant, break your gloves, throw another rune gate for 3.
Like if you go Shadow Pup, Deathly Whale, and you paid for Whale, then you can go Deathly Whale again, Creeper's Mauve, and you just gone 4 wide. And you don't like that was so little setup if you already had that out. Like this is not hard.
I won't say this is a Vinset upgrade. I'll say this is a Rune Gate upgrade because
Yeah.
RuneGate chain also like loves this card.
Oh, he loves this card. Yeah. He loves this card.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Free eulogy that you don't have to work for. That sounds awesome.
I actually haven't read clearly Blast to Oblivion. You're the lightning guy.
Okay. This is the card that I wanted to talk about. Blast to Oblivion is awesome. This is going to be...
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit before.
Blast to Oblivion. Okay, I got to actually pull it up here so I can read the card correctly for everybody. It is a 0 cost attack in red. It's a 4 power and 2 block. It says, when this attacks, the next time you play an instant card, this chain link. So it has to be in response to this attacking, right? You may return target or a permanent with 1 cost or less, or target or a token to its owner's hand.
Wait a minute.
Keep thinking.
Can you draw twice with Channel Lightning Valley?
You mean Sigil of Brilliance?
Oh, that too. But can't you return Channel Lightning Valley? Isn't it aura?
You can. Oh yeah, you can. Yeah. Oh, that's even better. I didn't even think about that one.
So you have 2 counters on Channel Lightning Valley. You could save it and put it back out and then draw again because it doesn't have its memory anymore.
Yeah, it's great. Good card.
I mean, I bought the lightning cards that were in the list that we had on the other podcast. They should be in the mail at any point. This seems so much fun.
So 2 things that I've been worried about with Acilio is, one, how is he going to do damage, right? And is Volzar any good? And the answer to is Volzar any good is yes, because you play the Sigil of Brilliance and you play the 2 sets of sigils that when they leave the arena, because all the sigils are worded when they leave the arena. So when you use this bounce effect, they trigger those sigils, right? You play the ones that give you an embodiment of Earth. If you happen to have this card and you say you have another one of them, right? Just Magical Christmas Land. You have 2 of these cards. You can go Sigil of Brilliance. You already have the embodiment of Earth out. Let's not do Brilliance. Let's do Conductivity. So you have your embodiment of Earth already.
You mean embodiment of Lightning?
Lightning, sorry.
Yes.
Lightning, yes. You go embodiment of Lightning, already out. You play Sigil Conductivity. You play Blast. It's going to bounce the Conductivity back to your hand, right? It's going to make an embodiment of Earth on its way out. You're going to play the Conductivity again. You're going to play another one of these blasts. It's going to bounce that same Conductivity back to your hand. So it has go again still, and you have an embodiment of Lightning at the end of all of this. And you have played 4 lightning cards. You're going to play your Sigil back out if you really need to, or it's a blue to pay for your lightning spell, plus Volzar.
So then you just juice your card because you've played so many lightning cards.
Yeah, and so that's a way for Volzar to go crazy and be like an Amp 4 without really drawing a ton of cards.
So does that mean it's kind of looking like Acilio will be a battle mage? Because I've been really excited for one of these to be more battle-y. And I kind of think they both might end up being battle mages.
I think they both end up a little battle magey, but I hope this is like one of 2 attacks in Acilio. I don't really want a ton of attacks in Acilio, personally, but we'll see. But that card is insane. You can bounce your opponent's stuff as well, right? It just says you target it and return it to the owner's hand. So if someone has their Channel Lake Frigid out that they're banking on stopping you for the whole turn, you just say no. In a pinch. And this is the other thing that we're going to talk a lot about with a lot of these cards is they say target aura, and you can target your own auras. And guess what else are auras? All the disease tokens.
Yep.
So anytime you have an inertia, a blood rot, like you have an inertia that's just going to screw your turn and you really need an arsenal important card, you can just play this, do the thing, and bounce the inertia if that's what you need to do.
Zen State is also an aura.
Yep.
So
can bounce the Zen State. Yep. And so this card is crazy. I am very, very, very high on this card.
So I think it has like really cool combo potential, and it's nice to see that in a rare card. And it's also nice to see that it's not just broken when you read it, right?
Oh yeah, this one
you gotta
requires
jump through
work.
hoops and do stuff, but when you get the payoff, and then at its worst, it's a 0 for 4.
And if you don't have the action point already, like this makes Blink more playable, and I spec on Blink, so this makes me really happy because that's a 0 cost instant to put on top of it to gain your action point back.
can't remember if I bought some blinks
Oh.
or not. I should buy.
Yeah.
Might have to go. I was gonna say, might have to go grab some blinks.
Yeah, that was my spec because I was just like, these guys are gonna love action points. Somebody wants blink, so
It's just it's like an easy lightning
Yeah.
card to make sure that you get a lightning card in as well.
and it's an instant for a Cilio, so it's like if it sucks in that situation, just discard it to his ability, draw a new card, and be better.
So another card that came out I thought was confusing. I want to talk about it briefly because I just want to make sure the Earth Runeblade Lightning instant card.
Okay,
That's just a Briar card, right?
Regrowth Shock. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, Regrowth Shock.
Yes. That is a specific Briar card. Yes, it is in the expansion slot.
Okay, this one is in the expansion slot.
Yes,
All right,
it
I
is in the
wasn't
expansion
sure.
slot.
So
Yes.
just to cover it quickly, it is a blue 0 cost 3 block. So already pretty cool. It is Earth Runeblade Lightning. So specifically only Briar can play it. Return an attack action card with cost less than X from your graveyard to your hand, where X is the total arcane damage you've dealt to opposing heroes this turn. That's the Earth Runeblade part on the left side. And then the shock we know is to deal 1 arcane damage to a target. So is this good?
That card is insane.
Deal 1 damage, and then I guess it, like, if you actually hit with the 1 damage and get a card back, it was 1 damage for free.
So say you have a blue in your hand, you create a rune chant, and it's like, oh, he's gonna end up with a line where he just swings Rosetta at the end of it, right? Realistically, it's not very common for you to actually pitch to Arcane versus Briar. So that rune chant goes through, right?
Yep.
And now you get to play this thing, you shock them, right? Which they decide whether or not that hits. But even if it only hits for 1, now you go get your Ravenous Rabble or Snatch or whatever is 0 for 4, go again, because Briar, that's all they play.
Yeah, they play the 0 for...
Yeah, and now it's a 1 for 5, half embodiment of lightning.
You could also, like, creepers this in. If you, like, have 2 floating or something, you could kind of creepers this in after the Rosetta, get your action point back, get a card, like, last second that they thought maybe you're going to Arsenal, and then throw another attack at the end that they weren't expecting.
The other cool thing that it does is it fuses for Blossoming Spellblade by itself. And Blossoming Spellblade is a card that I love. I tried making this card work. It sucks.
I know which card you're talking about too. I saw a bunch of them when I was putting up on the marketplace, wondering if they were going to be any good.
It's a 2 for 6. It's a 2 for 6 block 3. It requires an Earth and Lightning fusion, and it says if it was fused, whenever this deals damage to opposing hero, you may banish a non-attack action from your graveyard, and if you do, you may play it this turn as if it were an instant. But instead of putting it back in your graveyard, you banish it. So you banish the card, you would play the card, and then whenever you're done with it, it would go into your banish zone. And if it was fused, deal 1 arcane damage as well. So if you fuse it, it's a 2 for 7. And if they let the arcane ping hit, because it's really annoying, you get to just grab whatever non-attack action you feel like you need to keep going. You grab Nimblism, right? Like the funny one that everybody tried to do was Channel Mount Heroic, was just like recycle Channel Mount Heroics.
I just see Nimblism. That's crazy. Like,
yeah, like, and then it's a 2-card 10 at that point because it has the arcane ping on it. Yeah,
that's cool.
So is Briar coming back then? Is this like a way of saying they're actually going to give us a Briar in the expansion slot as like a new hero or a young hero maybe?
Somebody was speculating that they're going to do the gold pack thing again, and it's going to be a young Briar. Like a new young Briar.
What if it's a new adult Briar and we're all just absolutely
I'd be down for a new adult Briar too, because this is actually the first time they've printed a Living Legend card, right? This card is a Living Legend card. I know Briar's in Blitz, but they're not printing cards for Blitz.
Succumb to Winter, the Oldham spec, but when he already LL'd, whatever it was called.
That card was already coming out. I'm sure that was already done in design.
Yeah, no, that was a pre-planned card. I get what you're getting at. So maybe
gone for a while.
Maybe we're getting an adult Briar.
I mean, we're getting her replacement set, this set, for a reason, right? Like,
yeah, right. So we're getting adult Briar, and nobody's ready for the real.
What if she's the Fable?
Oh, no way!
Read the lore.
No
it's
way!
Seed of Tomorrow, and it's going to be something we're dealing with that.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, hit the high notes, which is what we're doing.
Oh boy!
Did you guys watch? Hold on. Did you guys watch the card, guys? video?
I did not.
Dude,
It's so
it's
good.
so
Go
good,
watch it.
and then
Go watch
it's
it.
so bad. It's like they get you in the first half, and then the second half, you're like, why is this video still going?
All right.
They had me. I don't know. But anyways, but the card is good. So we'll talk about the rest of the Runeblade cards with this in mind, is that Florian... Oh, we have seen his weapon as well. So let's talk about Rotwood Weeper.
I think it's great.
2 cost.
It's awful.
2 base power, and it's if you've played an aura this turn, Earth card or aura. I think
It's
Earth.
aura. If you create an aura this turn,
it gets +2. So it's 2 costs, 4 damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is Nebula Blade stats, except Nebula Blade has on hit create a rune chant.
make a rune chant.
So the new heroes are Nebula Blade decks, and that's exciting. That is very, 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 very exciting, because Nebula Blade is a very good card that did not have a card pool to support it. You did not have the attack actions that you needed that curved well with Nebula Blade. And Hit the High Note is that card, because we all remember Mavrian Skies, Red Shrill Skull Form, Rosetta Thorn. That was your 3-card 12. That was the bread and butter play. We all made money off it. I made more money than I'd actually like to admit off that exact combination, because we found that for indie before a lot of other people did, and I just smoked some people in the mirrors with it. So this, you have Mavrian Skies, Hit the High Note, which we didn't read the card. We probably should read the card.
Yeah. So it's a one.
Sorry.
It's a good card.
First of all, it's a 3-block attack, 3-block card. So that's really good.
Rare.
It's a 1 for 4. If you've played or created an aura this turn, this gets +2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Viscera attacks just turns it on immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk about a bunch of other non-attack auras, right? Or say that one that we just talked about. I'm trying to remember its name. That one that we talked about already.
So let's just talk about the Viscera math real quick.
Yeah, let's just do the Viscera math, the simple one.
So you play Mob Skies. You play Hit the
Skies.
High Notes. It immediately makes a rune chant.
Mm-hmm.
Makes this a 6. So this is already basically a 1 for 7 if you're talking about how the value you get from the hero ability.
And then you swing Nebula Blade, which is 4 more, and if they let it hit, it gets another rune chant. So we're back to a 3-card 12. Floor is a 3-card 11.
If the Hit the High Notes doesn't hit.
Yeah.
If the Hit the High Notes hits, it's a 3-card 15.
And you're forking them on having to block the Mavrian Skies or the Nebula Blade. Because that was the other issue with Nebula Blade builds, was that it was like, all right, you're not really forking them on having to decide whether they block the attack, or they're like, oh, I'll just save my armor and a 3-block for Nebula Blade over and over and over again. And now you're forking them. Like, they have to give you a lot of cards if they don't want you to go above rate. Which you already are. Like, they just don't want you to go crazy above rate. So that card is gas. It's also crazy because you could just pitch to Grasp, make a rune chant, and play this card as a 2-card 7.
Yep.
And just
that's another
so much.
That's something I immediately saw. I'm like, this is just awesome with Grasp.
So we talked about hand scaling, right? You got a 2-card hand, you got a 3-card hand, and then we have other cards that we can talk about that help you scale even further. It is exactly what Nebula Blade decks needed. That is a Windmill Slam red and blue in every Nebula Blade deck from here on out.
All right. What if I told you that you could play Read the Runes and it has just Go Again built on the card?
Could you really?
Yeah. It's called Deadwood Dirge.
Oh,
the card is crazy.
It is crazy good. We talked about that one as well.
2-block. Destroy an aura you control. If you do, create 3 rune chant tokens. Go again. So yes, in like Vincent and Viscera, you're sacking a little bit of value. But when I saw this after like Runegate Chain, this card's just wild. Like,
a shackle.
You can just sack a shackle. Like, so you can stay at that like magical 4 to 5 shackles, right? Oh man, this card is nuts. It also has Go Again, so it just increases the number of times you get to throw Rosetta Thorn because you don't run out of action points. It's another thing that you can flash in with the creepers to get an extra action point as well. This thing is just so good.
Disease Aura is away for free.
Yeah. Once again, this is another aura that you control. So you play against Azalea, they give you a Blood Rot. Yeah. Thanks for the Blood Rot. You just gave me 3 rune chance. That is a 5 value swing on a card.
I guess, can't you eat like Icelander's aura too?
You can kill Frostex with this, yes. It is very rude.
Frostex is so bad versus Runeblade now.
Yes. Sometimes you used to play Frost Hex as just like well, this hand sucks and it's turn 0. Let me just get this Frost Hex out of my hand. Now you actively can't.
Yeah.
If you play the Frost Hex, you are giving them free value.
Yeah. You're helping them out.
Yeah, you can't. It's hilarious. Yeah, Deadwood Dirge is going to be interesting. I think for Florian, I don't know how it's going to work. I hope he has like extra embodiments of Earth to sack or something.
He will, because I think that's his whole thing, right? So you're going to be generating more embodiments and then like popping them to do massive damage, maybe? I don't know. But he has access to auras.
The other fun one is just if you have Runeblade Incantation and it's already ticked all the way down, it just sticks around for an extra turn right now for no reason.
That's true.
And you can just pop it.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh, so you could just eat a Runeblade incantation. Yeah, it's so good.
So you play your I can't say incant anymore because there's more than one, but you play your Runeblade Incantation and you just sit this thing in Arsenal for a turn or two. You wait for it to tick all the way down and then boop, thank you for the extra 0 for 3.
I mean, or you play it early if it lines up, right? You just have
like
options.
if you need it, you need it. Yeah. But
because
once again,
you get the one rune. The thing is, you get the one rune chant from the Runeblade Incantation. You pop this, now you have 4, and you could throw your widespread annihilation.
Yeah. Or you play your first rune gate attack, and then you pop it, and now you get to play your second rune gate attack. And this was my biggest issue with Vincent, was you would get a huge blood debt, and you're like, all right, I'm ready. I just need to be able to figure out how to double and triple gate somebody. And you couldn't. Because you didn't have enough rune chance, and now
you don't have enough those non-attack actions that create a critical mass rune chance. I feel like Envelop might take the hit here. Like,
I hated Envelop. I loved Envelop, and then I hated it, and now
it's a love-hate relationship. You're like, why does this cost 1? Please, if this just gave 1 less attack and costed 0, it'd be so good.
Yes. I would play the blue for 0, create a rune chant, just be a shadow thing, please. But yeah, no, these are great.
I think also I would say Rune Rager Swarm is probably a card that Vincent likes. I don't know if Chain would want this.
This is a Viserai card.
Also, it's a crazy Viserai card, right? So Rune Rager Swarm is a 0 for 3 block red. It's common, so it probably comes in all colors, though I don't think you'd play the other colors. Maybe you play blue, but I doubt it. If you've played or created an aura this turn, this gets go again.
So you play the blues in LL Viserai, because on a skeletal combo, if you reveal the blue, it just has go again. But everywhere else, you play the red. So we talked about ways to hand scale the Viserai, right? So now you also have the curve of Runeblade Incantation. You have 1 cost non-attack actions that are online with this card. I call it Rune Jab. It's just Runeblade Head Jab, because that's what it is. So you could just go your 1 cost non-attack action Rune Jab into this, or Mauve, High Note, Rune Jab, Nebula Blade. It's just your perfect hand extender. It does everything.
Because this is effectively a 0 for 4 in Viserai, right?
Yeah, this is Swarming Gloomveil at home. But Swarming Gloomveil is a crazy card.
You know what this is particularly good for in Vincent? Turning on Revel and Runeblood. Because sometimes in Vincent, you're just like, I can't play Revel and Runeblood because I literally don't have an attack that I can play. Now you do. You make a rune chant automatically at the beginning of your turn. You play this out. You Revel and Runeblood. You throw Widespread Annihilation. That's actually kind of nuts.
I'm more tempted to play Rift Skitter now, because that card also just has go again on it. And making 3 rune chants seems to be kind of trivial at this point. Because the issue with Rift Skitter was that it always costed 3, right? It was like such an expensive rune gate card. And now I'm kind of tempted to play with that. But both of them are very interesting. There's like a redline build of Vincent that I think is going to be very fun to play with. And this might see play in it. We'll have to see.
Just a small honorable mention for Splintering Deadwood. That seems like it could have some crazy scaling.
Not honorable mention. That is the mention. It's just full stop.
You think crazy. This is actually the one that like can go crazy? Because so both Florian makes this card go crazy, right? As far as value goes. So Splintering Deadwood, we got the blue one. But it is a rare, so it probably comes in all colors. 3 for 5 blue, colors. Block 3. So it's already a great block 3. This is an incredible draft card. When this attacks or hits, you may destroy an aura you control if you do create a rune chant token. So if Florian attacks with this, and he can generate 2 extra rune chants off of 1 rune chant.
Yes. So then on like just And this is a twice a turn trigger if you read the card correctly, because it's attack or hit. So when you just attack with it, it triggers, and if it hits, it triggers again.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have Florian active, you could take a rune chant, sack it, or let's just get rid of these disease tokens. Azalea gave us a blood rot and a frailty because they just played Codex and brought back infecting shot.
You could also immediately get a payoff from a sigil, right? That might be.
Oh yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing is for limited is these sigils that are in play that are instants or whatever. You could just bop them in and sack them for payoffs. So sack a sigil for a payoff, create 2 rune chants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have another aura on the board, you sack one of those rune chants for another rune chant for 2 more rune chants. So your floor is a 2-card 10.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good math. We like that card.
I think this card is incredible in red.
Yes,
like absolutely wild because it's coming in at that like double card breakpoint, right? And it's got a very relevant on hit.
Yes, 7 is an annoying number to block.
And it's really hard to block. I mean, not equally.
Yeah, I think this card is. Oh, did we just get a new card? We just got a new card.
Yeah. There should be one around 9. We'll
it's in Japanese. I can't read it.
So, okay, let's move on then to Condemned to Slaughter. I think this card is kind of bad, but I could see an application of it. My first thought was that you could destroy the Zen State token. It's a blue block 3. We got the blue version, but again, it probably comes in red and yellow as well. It's a 1 cost, your next Runeblade attack. So it does affect the weapon. This turn gets +1. You may destroy an aura you control. If you do, each opponent destroys an aura permanent they control.
No, this card's good.
Is it?
Yes.
What's the application?
You can't get looped by Prism anymore. Because ALS is an aura.
Okay, so then that's true. This is a great sideboard for Viserai and Vincent and maybe Chain. Okay, this is better than Captain's Call, right?
Yes.
Because you only run Captain's Call for Prism. It kind of has a little bit of side use in Icelander, I think, if she like steals your action point because she takes your go again away.
Yeah, there's going to be uses for this card. Notably, it's another 2-card 7 with an on hit with Nebula Blade. And it's just increasing the density of 2-card hands that Runeblade now has access to. Which
also
is huge.
blocks 3.
Yeah, and it blocks 3. It's like come to fight plus.
You also get the aura hate too, right? There's a lot of auras in this. You might just want to aura
destroy
hate.
the Zen State token. That's
what I'm saying.
Because that's something that Vincent and CC will struggle with. Probably Viserai as well.
That's more of a reason than for
Chain absolutely struggles with the Zen State token from the 12 pedal.
Pops Zen State tokens. It's just more like, because if you've played Vincent, I kind of dislike the Azalea matchup. It's really tough because you don't block too well, and this blocks really well. And then also you just have all these disease tokens running around that just make your life miserable. And this cleans up a lot of that, right? We have like 3 or 4 cards now that I say pop one of your auras, do stuff.
All right.
And so now you just kind of hit this critical mass of stuff where it's like assassins and rangers. You're like, cool, I don't care. And this one also has hate for Prism.
I feel like, though, I guess we talked about lightning at the beginning. It almost feels like we're just talking about like this is the Viserai set.
Yeah,
Viserai is finally getting his comeuppance.
Yeah, this is the Viserai and Vincent set so far. Like the Runeblade cards, and
but that's kind of like how they do the sets, though, right?
Well,
Katsu part of the
Prism.
Mistveil did not do terribly much for Illusionist in general or Ninja.
So now Vincent gets a little.
There were some good assassin cards.
Vincent, Viserai get a little taste, and then like I still think these heroes are going to be bonkers, but I don't know. I think we're going to see, like you said, more than just the new heroes get propped up with this stuff, though. In terms of Runeblade, though, but Vincent seems like a clear winner. If not Viserai, I mean, I'm sure people are going to try different.
So, Free Floating got 2 cards. They got the Rotwood Reaper, which we previously discussed. They might have gotten that because that one got leaked early. So
yes,
maybe
I think they got
card.
the new card because it got leaked. Yeah.
We already talked about Rotwood Reaper. It is just really bad Nebula Blade.
Ooh, okay.
You want to do the new card? Or you want to hit the 2 Earth cards?
No, let's talk about the new card.
Okay, what's the new card?
The new card is Cadaverous Tilling. It is a 3-cost, 6 power, 2 block, and red.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and it has Decompose on it. And the Decompose keyword is whenever you banish 2 cards, it does something. And for this one, it's when you decompose, this attack gains +2. So there's a 2-card 8. Yeah, there is a 2-card 8. And it is a common.
Is that all it is?
Yeah.
Okay, you're technically still underrate compared to Levia. But I think losing 1 point of value is worth not having to deal with Blood Debt.
But what? It's a 2-card 8.
Levia has 2-card 9.
Yeah, okay, 3 of them. Sure, yeah, that's fair. But yeah, like that card's so good. Like we're looking for the decompose.
No, that's saying what?
That card's really
this just makes me so bitter towards Levia. Like these are all like Levia cards coming out, right? Except you don't have to deal with Blood Debt. You actually get a benefit, a pure benefit from having stuff in your banish. No downside.
Yeah, just play
Florian. Play Florian.
Right, just play Florian. Florian's probably going to be really fun.
We're already in the Earth cards. It's nice to see more Decompose. And I think this is a definite, you definitely run the blues. You probably run the reds as well, but the blues are just good, right? Because it's going to come in.
Blues are 2 for
7.
6.
Right? 2 for 6. Yep. 2 for 6 in blue.
2 for 6 in blue.
That's
I mean, you
solid.
probably run the blues. You need to find some number of Earth blues for various reasons. I mean, we got a channel tree. Like the trees in the mountains are still around. We got to keep them around. So you're probably playing some Earth blues, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm high on the red.
We also got, I am too. I think you run the reds and the blues. In my opinion, the way I would deck build, I definitely see the blues going in for sure, and probably the reds. I don't think there's going to be a ton of decomposed cards, so I think that's just clear value that's going in. Speaking of clear value, they actually gave Earth a 0 for 4 defense reaction. It is conditional, but the condition isn't too bad. Rootbound Carapace. This was February's spoiler. Got to do a fun crossword puzzle. It is a 0 for 3 block defense reaction coming in red. It probably comes in the other colors as well. To decompose, you may banish 2 Earth cards and an action card from your graveyard. If you do, this gets +1 defense. This is
everything Earth wanted.
Yep.
This is everything Earth wanted.
You can have 9 4-block defense reactions in your deck if you want to be really tanking. Easily.
You could play these Sync's Fates if you really want to be tanky, but more importantly, it's an Earth card itself, so it's more Earth cards that you can put in the graveyard. It's my biggest worry with Earth was getting your hero text online is very slow, and I was worried that everything was going to have to be like Cadaverous Tilling, where you're attacking with it, right, in order to get the decompose off. This getting its decompose off on defense and not costing you your action point to do it is huge. I cannot overstate how important that is. This card definitely gets ran in red. I want to run this card in blue. I think Verdance's blues are going to be very, 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 very contested. But I want to run both of those because I think that effect is so important.
In Blitz and Limited, you could have your decompose online basically on the first turn. If they attack you on turn 0, you block the root. Oh, well, you won't have anything, but you know what I mean. You get cards in your graveyard turn 1. You Arsenal Rootbound Carapace. They attack you. You decompose. You're basically you're online in just like 2 or 3 turns.
Yeah, like you decompose twice very quickly. Like that's fine.
We also got an answer to how Earth might approach really wide matchups like Zen, because I think that was the big question. Like, you're going to print these Earth heroes. They want the game to last, and then they just do what Brody did yesterday, where he deals like 52 damage in 1 turn off of an Ancestral Harmony that hit an aspect of Tiger Body and double Artivore. Banishing Tigers, I'm pretty sure both times.
Yeah, skillish. Very, very skilled. So proud of you. Anyways, carry on.
So Seeds of Tomorrow. It is a instant majestic blue for Earth. That means it's an instant, so no defense on it. As an additional cost to play this, put a card from your arsenal on the bottom of your deck. Prevent the next 5 damage that we dealt to you this turn. Keyword there, next 5 damage. So you play this, they're swinging at you at 1 and 2 breakpoints coming over those 3s, right? The 4s and 5s. And this can cover up 3 or 4 attacks in a row with just a single 3 block.
Ban it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
it's
Wizards
crazy.
hate this card.
Ban it. Ban the card. Hate the card.
Oh, man, because, you AV3, and then this blocks 6, the other 3 off the 6, and there's still 2 left over. You're so screwed.
Ban it. Ban it. No, thank you. No,
Just play Verdance. Be a part of the problem.
Without memeing, honestly, I think the card is perfectly fine. It's basically a yellow, and it's basically putting a yellow in your arsenal. We've already seen No Fear, which is kind of the same idea of putting a yellow in your arsenal. So it's fine. It's a good card. It is a very good card, but it's not broken tier 0 making Earth. Just
you have to have a card
everything.
loaded in your arsenal. If you ever draw 2 of them in a hand without an arsenal, oh god, that could just lose you the game on the spot. So you might even not see 3 of these ran in the deck.
Just play Toma Harvest. It's all right. Toma Harvest will bail you out. Don't actually do that. Don't listen to that advice. That advice is bad.
that sounds bad. That just sounds like making the problem worse.
Yeah, exactly. But
play bad cards to make your bad cards slightly better.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so it's an interesting one. I think it's a good card.
Okay.
I think it's pretty dang good. I think it'll be pretty good in Verdance.
Yeah. Oh, Verdance loves that card.
So,
and it's Earth.
I want to get to the new -IO Armory deck, but I want to make a quick mention because we skipped it. We are in the middle of skirmish season. We finished week 1, and Zen had picked up 33 wins. I mean, Victor Goldbane didn't do too bad at 21, and Blaze sitting at 14. So you had some other high performers, but Zen picked up a lot of Blitz Living Legend points in the first weekend.
He's going to be gone by the end of the season.
Yep. Will this be the first time we've ever had a hero hit Living Legend in one season? Like from 0 to gone?
Viscera did it, but that's like an extreme outlier because you didn't have a crazy hero pool yet, and he had Skeletor.
Skeletor's probably pretty strong in Blitz, isn't it?
Oh my god, dude! It was there was this
pretty strong.
Yeah, it was all right. There's Battle Hardened Krakow, or no, not Battle Hardened, Calling Krakow. All the Europeans. Sorry for that, you guys. That was your first calling. Was Calling Krakow, and it was Viscera Blitz format. So yeah.
So we're gonna have probably 3 heroes hit Living Legend in Blitz this season. We'll probably say bye to Dash. She's only a handful of points away. Same with Briar, right behind her by 1 point, at 479 and 478 respectively. And I can almost guarantee Zen is going to leave as well.
Oh my goodness!
He's at 205 already. Wow!
I just realized bouncing back channel Mount Heroic in Briar. You could have bounced back channel Mount Heroic and Briar. That would have been insane. That would have been really good. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'm the -IO like guy, so I'm glad we're saving this for last. But we're getting a -IO Armory deck in October. And I think just after the podcast last week, we got the first 2 spoilers with that. Fast and Furious, the art on that card is beautiful. Red, 3 block, 0 for 3 boost. It's kind of like, it's the slightly underrate. If you're looking at just the stat line, it's right there with like red T-bone. Until you read the text. If you've cranked this turn, this gets +1. So it turns into a 0 to 60. Pretty simple way to turn it into a 0 to 62. It's a little luck based, but less luck based than knocking a card off the top like Sprocket Rocket. When this is banished from boosting, put a steam counter on an item you control with Crank. This is nuts and max. Just to start off with.
Beautiful.
Absolutely crazy and max. Because Big Bertha, that card sucks. Crankshaft, that card sucks even more. Those cards blow. Fast and Furious does not suck.
Good card.
Fast and Furious is really good. The helmet that got spoiled was a Temper 1. Sounds weird, but when we get to the text, it makes more sense. When this defends, you may banish the top two cards, or the top card of your graveyard from your deck. If it's a Mechanologist card, this gets +1 until the end of turn. So it gives you access to 3 block, which I've discussed this with several people. I think this card is strictly worse than Balance of Justice and Crown of Providence, but that is not the objective of the Armory decks. In the concept of an Armory deck, this card is really powerful.
This is so good.
But man, is it ugly.
No, they're just way in the future.
Dude.
Like, Dio has gone so far into the future, and we're just, future tech. It's fine.
Is this future tech, or is this like I stole this out of a meth addict's garage tech?
All the above. Both. you got methods in the future, it's fine.
Okay. The other piece of gear that's been spoiled so far are the boots. Heavy industry gear shift. Action, destroy this, banish the top 2 cards of your deck, gain 1 action point for each Mechanologist card banished this way, and it's battle worn 1. So to clarify, the action does not have go again, so you net 1 action point off of this. You have to spend an action point to get an action point. So this is not good in Dash, right? Because usually if you're banishing for an action point, it's because you hit your non-mech card and you need to do it at instant speed. Likewise, probably not good in Max for the same reason. If you're actually doing it and you're not going to break something because you're playing Mechanoids. So this is specifically a Dash IO card. Is this better than Achilles Accelerators? And the answer is probably yes. For 2 reasons. 1, you get to block 1, so it adds 1 to your health total. You're already struggling at 36. And 2, you can intentionally do it to dig. So you really need to get an item off the top. Sometimes you'll activate Teklo Foundry Heart just to get an item, just to try to get an item and stretch. You can just get the action point and stretch too.
It's also kind of high octane at home, right?
I mean,
it's like
just
2 free gunshots out of nowhere.
No, it's 1.
Oh, because it consumes the action point. It consumes the action point. Okay.
Okay. That is an important discrepancy. 1, you do not need to boost or anything beforehand. So you can just do it. You can just raw dog it right at the front of the turn. 2, you don't have to pay anything for it. So it's not like Mage Master boots that cost you a pitch or Teklo Core needs to be out, right?
Yep.
So if you are playing Tome of Findle, it nets you like 1 extra life, right? Sometimes 2. Depending on the
you're
setup.
just going to do it right away.
Yep. You just break the boots, play the tome. Good to go.
Yep.
Or like you did mention, you get to shoot the gun twice out of nowhere. At the end of the game, 2 gun counters, shoot the gun twice. That can actually save your life. I didn't even think about that. If they make you block completely out to survive and they're at 1 or 2 and you go pow pow and steal 2 cards from them. That could be game winning. That's actually an interesting way to think about it.
Yeah, like it's good.
That's pretty.
I think I'm gonna run it because
I love the block value on it. The block value on it's.
Talk about all the good things it does offensively and all these other things. I'm running it for the block.
Dude,
accelerators.
Seriously, I'm messing with you. Like, they're great. I'm happy to see Dio get some upgrades.
Those are some really nice like boots, effect wise and just life wise. Like can't underestimate the 1 block.
It does make you mill faster, and there needs to be some math done with these new boots to see if they break the deck, because the deck was very often riding the hairiest of hairy edges to beat some matchups. And 2 more cards gone to get your 1 action point might push you over the edge. All right, now the good card. These have all been okay cards. Fast and Furious, really good in Max. Now the good card for Dash IO. Cerebellum Processor. I remember when Bright Lights first came out and I got really excited about Dash and Dash IO. I was like, are they going to print an item that lets us draw a card? And I think I asked a couple of people about it and they said, no, that's busted. That's not going to happen. And then it didn't happen. And so we all agreed it was busted. And then they printed one. So this is an item. So no block, 0 cost, blue, Cerebellum Processor, crank. So it has the crank keyword, meaning when it comes into play, you can remove a steam counter from it to get your action point back. This enters the arena with 2 steam counters. At the start of your turn, destroy this unless you remove a steam counter from it. Once per turn action. Pay 0, draw a card. wow, is this card nuts?
So making sure I understand how the card works, right? Because I'm not a Dio player. I pull it off the top. It comes into play, right? Puts a counter on my gun, which is already good.
2 points. You've paid one to get 2 points, and if you crank it, you get an action point.
Let's not even worry about that. We're just pulling it off the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can pay on that turn to 0 and just draw a card, right?
Yes.
The next turn, Steam counter comes off. We have one Steam counter at that point.
Yep.
I can do the thing and draw a card again.
Yes.
And then the next turn, another Steam counter comes off. Now we're at 0, but it hasn't died yet.
Nope.
So I can draw another card.
Yes.
Okay, that's that. No.
And then you can use your adaptive plating and block for 3. Because the item has no value anymore.
Okay. Oh no. Okay. That's good.
So,
that's really good.
Okay.
That's
so
good.
This doesn't even feel bad to crank. You think, oh, why would you want to remove a Steam counter off of it?
It's a draw two still.
Okay, you take it off the top, you get a gun counter, you crank it to get your action point, get your extra action point, and you draw a card, and it still has one Steam counter on it for you to use next turn.
How many times have you been like going through your deck as a Dio and just been like, man, I really wish I could draw this card?
Dude, I wish I could draw. No, imagine, what's the worst case scenario? You don't have an action point, right? What do? You draw a card and you put it into your arsenal.
No, but it's an action, right?
I know. It's mechanologist.
Oh,
of course,
right.
The once per turn action. Okay, the once per turn action does not have go again specifically.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. It's not totally busted. It's just really strong.
You still need the action point.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
yes, okay.
Man, if that thing was
when you're
once per
playing
turn, just draw a card.
like,
oh my lord!
When you're playing Dash.io, like you always want to go. I want to yeet my whole hand, right? But I really need to put something in an arsenal just in case I draw my high octane, just in case I draw my max V. Now, if this is out, you just yeet your whole hand, and then at the end of the chain, you go, I'll save my gunshots. I'll wait for the high octane. I'll draw a card and put it into arsenal. Yeah. And guess what? You know what the card is because you're looking at the top of your deck. So this essentially makes Dash.io a 5 intelligence hero while it's out in play. Yeah,
it's letting you do something with your action point besides just shoot gunshots at the end. So it lets you save them. Yeah, okay, this card's crazy. This card
is crazy.
The card's nuts, especially with the way you explained it about the arsenal. That is extremely true. Yeah. You get to like just vomit your hand out, a huge turn, and then go, and on top of that, I'm an arsenal card. That's beautiful.
Dude,
that's beautiful, dude.
And you
why does this come into play with 2 Steam counters on it? That's wild to me.
And okay, so you can dig with Tekla Foundry, you can dig with the booze, baby. And you can just dig with a couple other ways if you don't like the card that you would be arsenaling, and just be like, all right, well, I have now dug to my max V and or high octane. Let's just put that in arsenal, move on with life.
Or you could go, man, my turn sucks. I just need to get lucky. Draw a card. There's an item under it. Flash it in and get my action point back. Let's go. Like
skill.
And then, dude, this card is it's so much fun. I'm so excited to play this card.
Yeah. That card's good. That card's good.
I think this could replace Blue Boom Grenade. It's just way more value than a Blue Boom Grenade. Also, I want to talk a little bit off topic. We're running long, so I'll wrap it up. I feel like we're very close to getting to this weird critical mass where Data Doll might be broken.
Let me read Data Doll. I know she's the Intellect 3 hero.
She's Intellect 3. But it says
she does stuff with items, right?
Yes, whenever she banishes a card off the top, not boost, banish. Whenever she banishes a card off the top, it goes into play. This new equipment that banishes cards is just, while you have equipment, you're not Intellect 3 anymore.
Okay. So you're just gonna run like a kind of fat deck with her and just mill stuff off the top.
You can only run 40 cards.
But your whole sideboard just goes in the whole time, right?
No, you can only run 40 cards in Blitz.
Oh, yeah, you're hard locked at 40. Okay, it's hard capped. Okay, good.
The whole concept is that this changes once the Tekla Plasma Pistol is gone. Every time you banish a card on your turn that has a crank on it, you crank it and you just shoot the gun over and over and over again. I think I was doing some Blitz playtesting and I went up against a Data Doll. I think she shot me 7 times in one turn once.
Hell yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, because she's just had a whole bunch of items out, and she like did 2 twin drives in a row, and just generated a crap ton of action points, and just went pow 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 pow.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I'm in. I like that. That's fun. That's fun.
Just quick side note: Cerebellum Processor just takes that to the nth degree. This card is wild.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it has 2 Steam counters on it. This is a custom card.
No. Yeah, that's
I asked for this card when Bright Lights was coming out. I'm like, give me an item that draws, please. All right.
Yeah.
I've had a good time with all these cards because I'm excited for RuneGate Chain is my current favorite deck to play. Dash.io is my favorite hero. So I'm eating good too.
There are some good times ahead. Set looks really fun to play.
And this limited format also looks crazy good.
Yeah,
it's like it's impossible to get cut off. It's impossible.
It's also the game's end. It's impossible for the games to like drag because even though there's life gain, the inability to consistently block arcane damage means the games are going to hit a conclusion.
Yes. So I'm excited for all this. This looks fantastic.
So I think we're 2 weeks out from being at the world premiere.
Yeah, I think we're all driving down in like 10 or 11 days.
Yep.
That's right. I'm excited. I'm super pumped.
It's going to be such a good time.
Everyone make sure they pay for their entry.
Already did. Way ahead of time. That's actually the first thing I bought. You know, normally you buy like the plane ticket and all the other stuff, you know, and then you buy that or whatever. I bought the entry and I was just like, nah, that means I'm going because I bought it. So I locked it in.
Hell yeah.
Locked it in real early. No, it's gonna be a blast. I'm excited just to not have to worry about being ill prepared for. I mean, I guess you could prepare for this format limited, but less of a letdown than like going to a constructed event on like ill preparation, right? Because this is gonna be a great time.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Okay. Anything else? Did we forget anything? I think we covered like almost all the cards. There was a couple little ones we dodged.
I think we did all right. I mean, given it was a 50 special, we were gonna run a little bit over. We missed you here, Donnie, on the big 50, bud.
We do miss you, Donnie.
All right, Justin, where can people find you?
J_EVS5.
That's it.
We're still same place. We did it.
Noah?
At Big Max Fab on Twitter and twitch.tv/BigMax. And we do need to stream more. So hopefully on the YouTube channel here, I'll just throw some stuff on.
And you could find me at What the System Fab or What the System on Discord. Well, if no one has anything else to say, and yeah, again, shout out to Donnie. He wasn't here for our Big 50. Make sure you go read his articles on fabric.gg. I definitely saw him in the YouTube chat, so he was probably taking some breaks and watching some games for the Battle Harden. So we miss you, man. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed catching up with us this week. And if you did, subscribe or follow depending on where you found us to catch us again next time. Until then, take care of yourself and remember, we're all siblings in cardboard.
You know what else you can find? My pummeled card being discarded into the graveyard. Done you? It's a real thing.
It's an earth card, so you discarded it. We're good. You helped me
We're
out.
good.
Thank you. Yeah, discard your cards.
Ichi, baby.